we live in the United States, the climate of that region affects the crops we raise, the houses we live in, the clothing we wear, and the kinds of recreation available to us. The climate of a region is the average of all the kinds of weather in a place over a long period of time. We will see how latitude, large bodies of water, ocean currents, altitude, and winds determine the various climates of the United States. The climatic regions of the United States are generally designated as follows: the subarctic climate of the interior and northern portions of Alaska, the marine west coast and Mediterranean climates along the west coast, the middle latitude dry lands consisting of desert and steppe climates, the humid continental climate with its two variations of short summer and long summer, the humid subtropical climate, and the tropical savanna climate of southern Florida and Hawaii. Let's begin here with the Mediterranean climate. Like the sunny lands around the Mediterranean Sea, this semi-tropical region, Southern California, has a Mediterranean climate. Here, citrus fruits grow well. Throughout the year in this climate, there is generally moderate weather. Summer days are not too hot because of the cool ocean breezes. In winter, the ocean waters are warmer than the land. The winds which blow in from the ocean during the winter bring warm, moisture-laden air to the colder land, causing rain. In areas where rainfall is not sufficient, irrigation is necessary for growing crops such as grapes and olives. Since the climate is usually warm the year around, homes in Mediterranean climates are built for outdoor living and recreation. The west coast, beginning in northern California and extending through southeastern Alaska, has a marine west coast climate. Here the coast is elevated and bordered by mountain ranges. Moist, warm ocean winds hit the coastal mountains, bringing as much as 100 inches of rain throughout the year. Great forests of evergreens thrive in mild temperatures and moist air in the coastal lands of Oregon and Washington. The Pacific Northwest is also an area of rich productive valleys, such as the Willamette Valley in Oregon. Even though southeastern Alaska is in a high latitude, it has a marine west coast climate because of the warm Japanese current. The high rainfall of the marine west coast climate has made dairy farming possible in southeastern Alaska. Here we also find great forests of evergreen trees. Such trees provide timber. Timber is an important natural resource of a marine west coast climate. But farther north and inland, the warm Japanese current and moist winds of the Pacific Ocean do not warm the interior of Alaska. This region has a subarctic climate. In the interior of Alaska, summers are short, and the long winters are sometimes severe. Although the growing season is short, some farmers raise abundant vegetable crops in the interior of Alaska. Now let's move from a high latitude climate to the middle latitude dry lands, the desert climate of the United States. Dry winds are an important factor influencing a desert climate. When these winds cross the Sierra Nevada and Cascade Mountains, they lose their moisture on the western slopes, causing an arid region east of these mountains. Farther inland is the desert, which receives less than 10 inches of rainfall each year. Only sparse vegetation exists in this dry climate, but crops can be grown by irrigation in dry areas of the Southwest. In the Southwest, some buildings are fashioned after the adobe houses of the Indians and early Spanish settlers. Here in the desert, thick clay walls are cooler than walls made of wood. East and north of the desert, in the interior of the United States, is a steppe climate that includes the Rocky Mountains and the Great Plains. The high mountains and the great distance from the ocean prevent moisture-bearing winds from the west from reaching this region. However, moisture-bearing winds from the north and south bring 10 to 20 inches of rain a year. Within the mountainous regions of the steppe climate, different altitudes produce a variety of temperatures and vegetation. The climate is suitable for growing grasses, and grazing is an important activity. Wheat grows in great abundance within the Great Plains region. In some springs and summers, the dry, hot winds of the Great Plains may loosen the dry topsoil and cause dust storms. Sometimes trees are grown as windbreaks on the Great Plains, the vast open steppe lands of the United States. The region east of the Great Plains, extending to the Atlantic Ocean, has a humid continental climate. Along this line and north of it, the summers are short and winters are cold and long. But south of this line, the summers are longer and the winters are not as severe. The prevailing westerly winds bring air masses of different characteristics to this region, sometimes causing great weather changes from day to day. Moisture-laden air moving inland from the Gulf of Mexico provides sufficient rainfall for growing many crops. Crops such as hay grow well in that part of the humid continental climate which has cool, short summers, a growing period of 90 to 140 days. Corn grows well in that part of the humid continental climate which has long, hot summers, a growing period of 150 to 180 days. People in this climate live in homes that are heated to keep warm in the cold winter. But the invigorating humid continental climate, along with productivity of the land, makes this one of the world's leading industrial regions. The southern states of the United States lie almost entirely in a humid subtropical climate. During the summer months, southern winds predominate, bringing warm, moist ocean air to the land. In the northern regions of a humid subtropical climate, winters are not very severe. Deep in the south, most winters are pleasant, and a long growing season of 200 days produces such crops as tobacco and rice. Cotton is grown almost everywhere in this humid subtropical climate. The southern portion of Florida and the state of Hawaii have a tropical savanna climate. Hawaii, in the Pacific Ocean, lies directly in the path of the trade winds. These winds bring more than 100 inches of rain a year. Most of the rain falls on the eastern side of the mountains. Abundant moisture and the volcanic soil of Hawaii are ideal for growing pineapples and sugar cane. A portion of Florida, from Lake Okeechobee southward, has a tropical savanna climate like Hawaii. But there is one main difference. This region of Florida is open to the polar air which sweeps across the United States, causing occasional freezing temperatures in this region. Much of this region of Florida is generally unproductive, swampy area, which is in the process of being developed. However, on the southeastern coast, there are many excellent vacation sites. The tropical savanna climate of both southern Florida and Hawaii is one extreme of the great range of climates that extend across the United States. These different climates affect our recreation, our clothing, and our homes. Climate also influences some of the natural resources found in an area, as well as human activities. The crops we raise are closely dependent on climate. So wherever you live, the climate of that region affects your life just as climates in other parts of the United States affect the lives of people who live there.